It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Campbellsville University head women's tennis coach, Coach Macarena Acuna. How are you doing today?
How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start coaching in college women's tennis?
Well, to be honest, it was kind of a weird realization because I just graduated from Campbellsville University, and I didn't know really what to do. So I got offered a GA position at Campbellsville University, and I was here for a year. Now I'm the head coach for Campbellsville University, and as I was a GA, I realized that I fell in love with the system. I was like, I never realized the importance of a coach and how everything works. So I think when I was a GA, I said, like, this is my future career. I want to in life.
What was that like going to the University of Pikeville to play tennis?
Well, it was something different. I'm from Argentina, so back home we don't have this system. It's not like you go to university, you play sports. Back home you only go to university, you don't play sports. So I was playing professional tennis in Argentina, and I kind of hurt my wrist, so I decided to go and study, and for me it was like, wow, this is everything I wanted together. I want a degree and I want to keep playing and be. So for me, going to Pikeville, it was like such a delight because I could do both things that I wanted at the same time.
Of course, going to the University of Pikeville, what was that like playing college tennis and getting to put on that uniform?
Well, tennis is an individual sport, so this time we play as a team. So it was really exciting for me. I was like, I never play with other 5 people, like all through a goal. So we played doubles at the beginning and singles. It was an awesome experience. I think it was the best experience in my life.
Of course, during your college time, what were some of your biggest accomplishments?
So my team was kind of in trouble. Sometimes we didn't have enough people, and our coach got laid off. So it was kind of difficult, but I always play number 1. So I think that's a really accomplished for me. And in our conference, that is the Mid-South Conference, I finished first team my first 2 years and second team my third year. And also for me, like, it was a big accomplishment to be able to graduate and playing during that period. I also played soccer in my college career. So I think the biggest accomplishment was to deal with studying, playing tennis, and playing soccer and be successful in the 3 things.
Of course, what was that experience like, as you said, being a dual athlete, playing tennis and soccer?
Well, it was tough, to be honest. It was a great experience, but I would wake up 5 a.m. to go to soccer practices, then go to school from like 9 to 12, maybe 1, 2, depending on the day, and then going and practicing tennis later on, like at 3. So it was like a lot to handle, but like I say, it was one of the best experiences in my life. I would say I would recommend to anyone to go to the college system. I think it shapes people and it's awesome.
Of course, after your college experience, what was that like getting into college coaching and coming to Campbellsville?
So, like I said at the beginning, it's kind of different because you see everything from the perspective of an athlete, and then being able to coach and have an impact on players is like way different. Is you see stuff that you didn't realize as a player. And I was lucky enough to have a great staff in Campbellsville University. The players were awesome. They welcomed me, and I think in my part, it was like life changing. It was like realizing what I want to do in life and realizing like how important it is to have like a good coach, because I got the fortune to have good coaches, but for me it was like, wow, there's other ways to do things as well. So it was like I can take a little bit from Pikeville, I can take a little bit from the coaches that were here before, and start shaping my own culture and seeing what I want in my program.
Of course, coming from the University of Pikeville, where you played just with women, what was that like getting to coach the men's team too?
Well, it was challenging, I would say. Of course, like sometimes in sports, guys think they know more than girls, which I don't think so. But it was challenging. Thanks God, I had like really good people, and it was guys that understood how everything worked, and they were nice and they were comprehensive, and we had such a good experience. My first year as a GA and coaching the guys, we went to the Christian Nationals and the NIA Nationals, and we won Christian Nationals. So for me, it was like something awesome. It was amazing experience. The guys were so excited, and I would say like coaching girls and guys is different, but you have to understand the players. Everyone is different, even not only for the gender, but for the different personalities.
Of course, as an assistant coach, what was that like being an assistant coach, and what were some of your accomplishments as an assistant coach?
So as an assistant coach, uh, the first accomplishment was like winning the Christian Nationals, the NCCAA Nationals, and I also think when I came here and as an assistant coach, one of my players on the men's side, he was about to graduate. He got like a lot of issues in his career, and he was kind of done. And I think the biggest accomplishment that year for me was like making sure he understood that this is a one time, like there is no coming back to college, there is no playing sports again, like in this level. Of course you can try to play professional, but like not in college career. So trying to make him understand that this was his last chance and he should enjoy it. And I think seeing him graduating and seeing him actually enjoy those 4 months of season was one of my biggest accomplishments.
How was that feeling like when you did get promoted to become the head coach?
Well, it was kind of special, I would say, but weird at the same time. So whenever I got promoted, it was the year of COVID, so 2020, and I got the news a couple weeks before everything happens. So it was spring 2020, and they announced me that I was gonna become the head coach for the women's, and then COVID happened. So it was a couple months where what's gonna happen, like the school, the university, like the players, and then after a couple months, I was announced again, and it was awesome for me. It was like an honor to pass from GA to assistant coach to now head coach. For me, it means that I'm doing the things like I'm supposed to, and I feel like really grateful.
What was that feeling like getting to take over the women's tennis program and run it like your own?
Well, it was a challenge again because the women's coach is also the head coach, or was also the head coach. So he stayed in the head coach for the guys. And of course, for the girls, it was kind of difficult because they have the same figure in the university, but now I was the head coach. So it was a challenge to separate those two things. But I think, again, all this journey has been amazing for me since I was a college student to now being a head coach. Everything that happens is something to take from and learn, right? So I think from my first year to now my third year, it's been a long journey, and I have learned a lot of stuff. And I think like last year was one of the best years. I started recruiting my own people. Some people graduating and see people graduating is awesome. Impacting young people is the best thing in this job.
How was that feeling like the first typical game day match that you were as a head coach?
Well, when you're a player, you don't realize all the stuff that head coaches do. So you had to be sure the facility is ready, is clean, is safe for the players to get there. Make sure the other team knows where they're going, have everything ready for them, maybe some water, the athletic trainer, talk to them, make sure like, hey, we start this time, making sure our athlete had the right uniforms, that they get ready 1 hour before they warm up, get the balls, talk with the referee, talk with the other coach, make sure everything is clean. So it's a long process that sometimes people don't realize, and I enjoy it anyways.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you started to build for the women's tennis program?
Excuse me, what?
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build for the women's tennis program?
Yeah. So for me, all I want for my athletes is for them to enjoy. So like I say, it's only 4 years. Stuff like COVID happened, like maybe you get yourself like in a shorter way. So I think the most important thing and the culture that I want to implement in my athlete is like enjoy. Think that this is like one time thing and it will never happen again. Like I say, for me, it was one of the best experience in my life. So I want them to have that in them, like go back and look at it and say like, hey, this was actually the best time in my life. And I try to make it really welcoming. Tennis in United States, like the college, is really different cultures. So in my team, we have people from Japan, from Argentina, from Venezuela, from the United States. So I want Spain. I don't want to leave anyone out. So I want everyone like to be included. Like I don't want any conflict between them. I love whenever the cultures get mixed up and everyone learns from each other. So I think impacting young people is the main thing for me.
What is that like, obviously, as you said, having tennis players from Argentina and different countries?
Well, it's awesome. I think, like being able to connect with different cultures, different languages, different food is something like special. Not that many people has that privilege. Sometimes it's kind of tough because you have to adapt to their own culture or like how they think and make sure everyone understands them. Oh, maybe this is a joke. Oh no, they're being serious and stuff like that. So it's a challenge for me and for every player to learn about different cultures, but at the end of the day, I think it gives you a lot. You learn a lot. You get out of the system and you're like, wow, I can understand this person. It's awesome.
Of course, during your time as head coach, what has been some of your accomplishments?
So last year we won the Christian Nationals for the first time for the girls. So I think that one of the biggest accomplishments is my second ring too. So I was pretty happy. But I think the thing that makes me the most happy, or it happened most, was like seeing the girls accomplishing something for the first time for the university. All of them were really excited. We all came together. We went to Alabama, and for them was like such a blessing. And for me too, it was like the first time the girls do something like this in the school. So we were really happy. And the other thing for me, taking out like the sport part, I think seeing them graduating is one of the biggest accomplishments. Seeing them going for the 4 years playing sports and then graduating. Today is graduation day actually, and one of our players graduating. So I think that's the important thing, seeing them walking through that stage and getting their diploma.
How's that like, obviously, as a head coach, getting to see those freshmen blossom into seniors and grow the program?
Well, it's interesting when they come there. More if they're international. If they're Americans, they cannot know what to expect. But internationals, they don't know what to expect. It's different. The atmosphere is way different. People are screaming outside when tennis is a quiet sport. So having people being able to talk to them while they're playing, and I think it's a good experience when freshmen put their uniform and go play. They come out and it's like, wow, this is amazing. Like I never experienced something like this. And seeing them growing in that is great. I think you can see the progress from freshman to sophomore, sophomore to junior, junior to senior, and it is one of the most grateful things I can see, because it's of a person, like from young, from not knowing anything to knowing everything, and teaching younger people like, oh, this is how the system works, or this is what you had to do. I think it's kind of like having a kid, seeing them growing. So it's a great experience for them and for us as a staff.
Who are some of the teams that you face in your typical tennis matches in your conference?
So our conference is a really good conference. It's the Mid-South Conference. And we have teams in the top 25 NAIA, like Lindsey Wilson, Campbellsville University, University of the Cumberland, Pikeville too. They're my rivals now. Shawnee State, UT Southern, Free Harmon, Bethel. I don't want to leave any. Georgetown. I think maybe that's all of them, but we have really good competitors, and the conference is really strong. We have a really good conference.
Of course, what is that like, obviously, as a head coach, getting to play your alma mater, Pikeville?
Well, at the beginning, it was kind of tough because people that I knew, they were playing there. So, of course, I want to win. So always in any place where I'm going to be, I'm really competitive, so I want to win. But it was kind of special, even going to those courts where I played my 3 years. It was special. Nowadays, I don't know a lot of the people that are playing, of course. So it starts being more like normal, like playing any other team. But I will always have a little bit of my heart in those tennis courts and that university. I also met my husband there and some of my best friends. So Pikeville is special for me, as well as Campbellsville.
Of course, what was that like, getting to make program history in 2021 and going to the national championship?
It was great. It was awesome. Like I say, the girls were seeing the girls so excited about it. It was the thing, like, wow, we're doing something here. And the school recognized us really well too. This year we have our ring ceremony and the football game, and seeing other kids cheering for us, like their friends. It's something special. You realize that you have done something, and I had a great time.
Of course, after that, how has that been like, obviously building on that legacy and building on that resume of being national champs?
Well, now we want more, right? So new players came in and we had the ring ceremony, and they were like, wow, this is awesome. Like having the ring, having people cheering for you, and having that experience. They're like, we want that too. So it's great for us to show like, oh, well, these are the right things we have to do to be able to accomplish these things. So now we want to like break records, right? Like our ranking, we want to go to NAIA and get a couple rounds in. We want to win the Mid-South Conference. So it's kind of a long process, but having the people that won the championship and having new people that seeing what it means is the way to show them the right path.
What does the recruitment process look like for tennis players?
I would say it depends if they're international or Americans, but nowadays there's a lot of showcase around United States and around the world. So a lot of agencies like send you videos or show you people, but also there's a lot of people, more Americans, that come through the process, the regular process, right? Like coming to the campus, having their visit, and like sometimes we make them play with one of our players and show us a little bit more. Of course, in general, they're nervous, but the process is kind of simple. Like you have to apply, you have to come visit. You don't have to, but in general, they want to come visit, and we do all the paperwork. We try to make everyone kind of feel welcoming, even if they're internationals or Americans, and try to stay in touch during the process, because sometimes it's been years that we've been recruiting this person. We see them growing from high school to now, or internationals, we see videos when they're playing their junior tournaments and like when they're graduating. So the processes are kind of different depending where you come from, but also depending on us, like trying to reach out to some people or them reaching out to us.
As a head coach, what are some of the things that you look at in those prospective student athletes?
Well, in the culture that I'm trying to build, I think like one of the most important things is trying to find like good people, right? We're a Christian institution too, so having people that believe and they're devoted to God is important for us as an institution. But I think we want good people, people that can compete, people who are willing to put everything they have to be successful and respectful, right? We want people that can compete, that they are good people, and they're respectful. I think those will be the three things we're looking for.
What is that like, obviously, getting them to see the campus and fall in love with Campbellsville's campus?
Well, I love our campus, to be honest. When I came here as a GA, I was like, wow, they take care of the campus so well. And I'm really greedy about it. Like I show it and I talk with love about our campus. So seeing them falling in love at the same time is one of the best feelings you can have. And I think when they see campus and they see how we take care of every facility, that's when they start falling in love and they decided to come and be part of.
Of course, as a head coach, what is that like, obviously, getting to see them put on that jersey for the first time and getting to put it on for the last time?
Well, it's exciting and sad. I would say those two. So the one of the first things that you can hear from a player or like a student athlete is like, when am I gonna have my jersey or when am I gonna have my uniform? And then it's kind of sad whenever you see them last day and like they realize that this is the last time they're representing the university. It, like I say, it's exciting and sad at the same time, but it's also exciting again because they're going, they grow, they've graduated, and they're going to have a great future.
What is that like as a head coach, getting to see them go on from the college level to the U.S. Opens?
Well, that's an amazing thing. I seen some players being a college athlete and then playing professional again, and I think that sends a great message to every person that is trying to compete in college and then they don't know what's going to happen. They're like, am I going to be an athlete again or am I just going to go on with my life and be a regular person, I would say. But seeing that people are able to do stuff like that, it sends a great message to everyone.
What advice would you give those high school athletes that are looking to play college tennis?
I think the advice that I will give them is to enjoy playing tennis. Don't take it like as a job or something with a lot of pressure. I think they're still kids that they have to enjoy their life. And I think, of course, play a couple tournaments, show what they're capable of, but never lose that love or passion for tennis. Think that it's part of the process, but if they get too mad about it or like so focused on only one thing, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff in life. And even if you cannot get in one school, you can get in another. There's always a spot for a person. So don't get frustrated if you don't get to the school that you wanted to, and keep looking because a better school is waiting for you.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to play professional tennis and get to play for the U.S. Open?
It's kind of like it's kind of hard to play U.S. Open. It's like one of the major tournaments. So keep enjoying, keep working hard, play tournaments, and like I said, the most important thing is like have fun. Be professional, but have fun. At the end of the day, it's a game, right? So like it's all for people. Show them what you can do and be grateful to.
What advice would you give those college athletes that are looking to play for a national tennis team and represent their country?
Well, that's the most important thing I think for anyone, right? Representing your country is being everything for any person. So I think it's like right now the World Cup is going on, so you can see people being fans and everything. It's an amazing thing. It's like I don't know. I will love for anyone to have that experience. I think is as an athlete is the goal, right? Like representing your country in any sport, it will be a goal.
What advice would you give those future college coaches looking to get started in coaching in college tennis?
Well, I think like they should know what they want to do with their program, have their philosophy for the program, come in and be ready. Like don't. Sometimes we get influenced by players or people that was before. Just like do your own path, like believe in yourself and follow your heart. Like I say, for me, it's about influencing people and like seeing them graduating. For anyone, it could be different stuff, but I think the most important thing is to don't lose the goal that is for them to graduate, to have a good experience in college and playing the sport.
What advice would you give those future head coaches that are looking to get started in coaching and running a program?
Well, it's kind of the same. I think like it's a job like any other job, but it's special because you get the chance to be with young people and show them the right way, right? Like showing the sport that you love, hopefully, and making them be successful in the tennis court and in their careers. Is about influencing people and having the best team that you could possible.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the university's program app?
Well, I have an Instagram account. It's at Macunal. It's MACUNAILD. So that's my personal one. And for the Tigers, we have the men's and the women's all together. So it's at CU Tigers Tennis.
Thank you again, Coach Macarena, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the head women's tennis coach.
Thank you so much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.